Beers and bets. Beers and bets. Beers and bets. Beers and bets.
Yo, what is happening?
I'll tell you what's up.
A great week of football. That was my favorite Sunday of the year.
Really?
It really was. I mean, I won $100. I bet $5, $10 bets. I won $100 between Thanksgiving and Monday Night Football. And then I donated 20 of those back on Monday Night Football. Jimmy, you sound like you want to lead off with your Broncos again. They've won 5 in a row. Or is it 6 in a row? I've lost count.
It'll be 6 on Sunday. But how about it? Sean Payton already, coach of the year, right?
He could be. I don't know. They give it they could give it if the Texans make the playoffs. Wouldn't they have to give it?
Come on.
To DeMeco Ryans? If the Texans make the playoffs?
Broncos make the playoffs, he's got it. If the Broncos make the playoffs, he's got it.
Starting 1-5, we weren't in that division. We didn't have that luxury. We had to beat.
No, in your division, I'm saying if you make the playoffs, that's a guarantee.
I'm saying, but the Texans shouldn't. That's not even a compare because, they didn't have to play in that division. They get easy games. They get to play the Colts. They get to play the fucking Jags. They get to. We gotta beat the Chiefs. We gotta beat the Bills, dude.
I don't disagree, but I really don't care too much about Coach of the Year. What I wanted to ask you is what's your confidence in the Broncos once they do get into the playoffs? Because I think they will. Say they match up in the first round against a team like the Miami Dolphins. What's your confidence level?
Why the fuck did you have to bring that team up?
Well, they put 70 on you.
Yeah.
They put 70 on you.
Confidence level. What the fuck? That kind of leading questions aren't a thing. Huh?
But it could. That's a matchup that's plausible. You know what I'm saying?
You think the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs?
No, they're probably going to win their division.
Probably going to have the first round bye, I think. I think we sweep through. Baltimore probably going to lose.
I don't even know if that's mathematically possible.
Don't worry about that. What I'm saying is that
probably possible.
I don't even know if we're going to make
the Chiefs would end up getting it, and then he'd be all pissed.
Well, I don't even know if we're going to make the playoffs, but what I can tell you is they've shown improvement in a month that when I look at a month ago, I would not have ever. I was saying trade everyone, and good for Russ for buying in. And this is the Russ we saw in Seattle. This is the guy that didn't have to try to do too much, but he was an underdog when he first got there. He beat out Matt Flynn. He had to work out for that contract. They paid Matt Flynn all that money. Russ came into camp, and Jackson, whatever his name, rest in peace. But he came in and won that job, and had to play with that fucking the chip on his shoulder. He came to Denver last year, all the hype, I'm the $1 billion man, all that shit. And he doesn't do good like that. I think he actually maybe has taken some time and bought into the system, and it's showing, dude. The running game's picked up. Our defense is on point. When we cut whatever his name was, Gregory from the damn
Randy Gregory.
Randy Gregory, Martell Gregory. That's what I was gonna say. But
Patrick Brodeur,
just as what I'm saying in my book. But yeah, I mean Benito's been making plays dude.
I still love Browning. That hit Browning had on that put what's his name out of the game. What's the Browns 3-name quarterback?
Oh, dude. Well, that was bullshit. That was a flag.
DTR.
Yeah.
Are you talking about
Thompson Robinson? Yeah.
That was bullshit, dude. That was not a flag.
I mean, the quarterback's up in the air throwing the ball. It was a solid hit. I mean, I don't agree with there being a flag thrown, but that was one of the hardest hits I've seen this season.
I've played a lot of
I love Browning.
I've played, so I know what's good with it. And that backyard football beat, but he was, dude, and we didn't really wear helmets and stuff but we wouldn't have thrown a flag. That was a legal hit. That was bullshit. They're just looking out. They know we're the best defense in football right now, dude. We're flying around making plays. We got 15 turnovers in the last 5 weeks or whatever.
That's right.
It's incredible, man. We're playing really good, and I don't know. Enough can't be said about Sean Payton and like what he's done and to maintain composure and guys like Jerry Jeudy or people that want to get traded.
You really got to give all the credit to Sean Payton because he's found out what the team can do and what they can't do, and they just stay away from the things that they're not good at. And you talk about Russell Wilson, they ask him to do the bare minimum until the last 2-3 minutes of the game. And then if they need the one drive from Russell Wilson, they say, Russ, go get us this one score to win the game. And Russell, throughout his career, he's always been good at that. He's not good when you ask him to do it for 60 minutes.
Kind of the last 5 minutes of each half. You need him to be elite.
You look at the Super Bowl against the Patriots, dude, he had 5 completions in the first half of that game. And it came down to them not giving the ball to Marshawn on the 1 yard or 2 yard line. 5 completions, and at the very end, they're still in the game because he was making those deep balls to Matthews or whoever that guy. He had been working at a Foot Locker, in that 2 weeks.
Yeah, the plays to Matthews, and then
let's start up. You did beat the Browns with a backup quarterback and a third string quarterback. Let's pump the brakes a little bit here.
Beat Mahomes.
Beat Josh Allen.
I'm Monday night in Buffalo. On a Monday night in Buffalo.
What happened?
The 5-game stretch has been impressive.
I'm talking about what I see, what I saw this week.
I could still see him going to Houston, and we're going to make our picks for that game in a little bit. I could still see the Broncos going to Houston this week, and I don't feel great about them. I could still see him losing that game to Houston and this going the other way. So
100%
we're going to make picks for week 13. We're only going to focus on the key matchups and then give some, specialty bets that we can win you a bunch of money. Our specialty picks have been fantastic between Jimmy's underdog of the week, Brad's under the week, and my parlay of the week. We've been kind of nails late in the season. We're really getting it going. But before we get into picks, we got to touch on one other game, and that's the Bills-Eagles game from yesterday. Yeah. Rainy day, cold day in Philly. And, really, I thought the Bills seemed like the better team, but it's so tough to kill the Eagles. They have so many different fucking things they can do to scrape their way out of sticky situations. And, Jalen Hurts, I think, had 50 yards passing in the first half. And then by the time the fourth quarter rolled around, it looked like the Eagles defense or offense could not.
You got to play a perfect game to beat them right now.
Yeah.
I know when I was looking at the game, it's literally Buffalo had 2 bad drives in the second half.
And one was the pick by Allen. Yep.
And another, it's even in overtime, they had just gone on a 10, 12 play drive in regulation, hit a 10 play drive and kind of field goal's fine.
But if you're Josh Allen and you have to settle for a field goal there, you have to have the feeling fuck. I probably won't get the ball back. That's probably game over.
This is the Super Bowl favorite, right?
Yeah.
I don't see a weakness. Short yardage, they're dominant. The D line runs 8 dudes deep.
I'd say their secondary is a weakness, but it's every team you could pick on something, and the Eagles can overcome their one weakness. So they're good enough everywhere else that the secondary being bad doesn't mean you can't win the Super Bowl. Yeah. You could say the same thing about the Chiefs wide receivers. How could you possibly win a Super Bowl with that shitty of a wide receiving core? Well, Patrick Mahomes did it with almost the same dudes last year, as bad as it looks.
This is MVS or whatever.
MVS. Did you? And that was 2 weeks ago. But did you see they threw Patrick Mahomes went to the fan at the front row of Arrowhead and threw him the towel after the game, and the fan dropped the towel after that loss to the Eagles. So after all those receiver drops, the
Kansas City thing,
Mahomes throws a fan a towel, and even the fan drops a fucking flimsy little towel reaching over the railing. It's good God, that's perfect.
Town of losers.
All right, let's get in.
The Eagles definitely have the most confidence in the league. They walk into a game, even though they didn't win last year, and they know it was a weird holding call at the end of the Super Bowl. They had them on third down. They would have had a drive to tie it with a field goal if they would have held them to it. And they called holding on that third down play for the Chiefs. So I think when they go into games, dude, there's no team with more confidence in the league.
Yeah, you never see them looking like oh fuck, we don't know what to do.
No, they're always composed, and like I think that might start with Kelsey up front. Jason Kelsey, not the fucking
What if Taylor Swift had a fat sister and Jason Kelsey started hooking up with Swift's sister?
Well, then I think Jason might actually. Well, yeah, he'd probably be pumped because I think he's a little. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. What is his look?
He might like chubby girls. We don't know.
Does his
Jason's married with 3 kids.
Oh, okay. See, I don't follow all this fucking pop culture football player shit. I just watch.
It's not pop culture. It was that Kelsey whole fuck. You watched
the Super Bowl moms.
I watched it, but for some reason that part I don't remember. I can't believe it's crazy, dude. It's like I almost watched the football aspect of the fucking program, but yeah, I think him being on that squad back with beating Tom Brady early on in his career, and being on that O line, they've kind of, I don't know, he is they're confident, man. And they push people around. We've never seen a team go into a game in week 12, still running a play and telling teams, yo, you can't stop it. We're just going to pound it right up the fucking middle the whole game. That's crazy.
Yeah. I still don't like that play, but we've already talked about that too much.
Miami kind of got them one time, didn't they? But there's no real good answer
on the one time. Yep.
Let's get into the picks.
The boys had to do it on Sunday, and I think that didn't go too hot for old Baker.
This is what's crazy. Have the QB sneak for the Bucks shouldn't be called often, but let's get into picks. And this is what's crazy. We all like the Eagles as much as we like any other team, and then San Francisco is visiting Philly to play the Eagles this week, and Vegas has got the 49ers as 3-point favorites going into Philly, which is really, it's hard to wrap your head around why Philly would be a home underdog with only one loss. I really, I'm leaning picking the Niners in this game because I'm just going to side with Vegas. But from a setting the odds perspective, I don't think it's the right call. I think Philly should be, 2-point favorites, 1.5-point favorites at the very least. I don't know how you make a 10-1 team a home underdog. I really it's not like they're missing anybody,
People love that. What is Vegas thinking? I don't get it. They know more than us. I'll say that much, but
they're usually right.
Yeah, yes and no. Usually when everybody goes one way, just go the opposite of the public. But yeah, what has Philly done to not be a favorite? And then Brock Purdy just gets a lot of love, I think. I really think he gets a little bit more love than he should.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. And here's why I lean 49ers. I did the same thing when the Eagles played the Chiefs a couple weeks ago. It's a revenge game, right? The Eagles lose to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They come back and beat them in the regular season this year. The 49ers lose to the Eagles in the NFC Championship game last year when Brock Purdy gets injured early in the game, and they're playing with, basically somebody who can't throw the ball. And the Eagles steamroll the 49ers in the playoffs last year. The 49ers, it's as simple as that. It's a revenge game, and I like to lean that way. That's not my pick for the game. I like the over 46.5 is where I'm going to make my bet. But if I was going to pick a side, I would lean 49ers as much as I like the Eagles. Brad, what do you got? What are you going to make your beers and bets pick for this game?
Oh, for this game, I'm going Philly.
Just Philly, especially if you get as a home underdog.
I think they've had some games where they were not perfect and it fucked up, and they made it through them. I think when you win those grind out games, just makes you better.
I just noticed the hoodie.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
Coast to coast exteriors.
I just
they dressed up.
Man.
It's a plug. We're plugging coast to coast. That's a decent logo.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Jimmy, what about you? This Eagles Niners game.
Easy. The Eagles, they kicked their ass, and even if Purdy had played, I think they still might have beat their ass. I'm telling I think though this is the match. We're gonna see this again. And it might be a divisional round because of this game and how it all works out or whatever. We're gonna see them again. Because
It's
But I
tough
think in-
to. Well, what up?
Philly-
Go ahead, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was saying in Philly. Yeah. I don't know.
It's tough to bet against the team. You just can't bet against them.
And
I get you.
it'd mean a lot by Shanahan. If he won this game, I'd be impressed. I'd be like, damn, okay. That's a Shanahan win right there. That's one.
And you were saying, do you think we'll see this matchup again in the playoffs? I agree, because it's really tough to think of another team in the NFC that is going to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, the third pick would be the Cowboys, right? But do we really trust the Cowboys in the playoffs to beat either one of these teams?
Outside of these two.
Till we see it.
Do we trust the Lions? No, you can't trust the Lions.
I trust the Cowboys more than the Lions.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Who do you guys
Brad.
trust more between those two?
I would trust the Cowboys because I think on both sides of the ball they're better. The Lions, I can't trust what I've seen out of that defense. When they make Jordan Love look like Aaron Rodgers on Thanksgiving,
That was my birthday. I woke up and it was 20 to 6 or 7. I was like, what the fuck is going on, man, for my pick'em? Which, by the way, looks like going to pull it out. So shout out, Mike. You had a good week, brother.
You're going to win your birthday week pick'em?
I think so, man. Yeah. I think so. I got the right score. Everybody has a higher final score than I do. There's 4 people tied with the same amount. And last night,
there it is.
I picked 21 to 10. And
you picked a low score. That sounds good. That sounds promising.
Was like 37 or like whatever. Yeah. They had way higher.
What an idiot picking 37 points in a Bears-Vikings game.
Yeah. Well, he probably would have done it.
I did bet the over last night, dude. I'm calling myself an idiot because I teased the Bears up to like +9 last night, and then I teased the over down to +36. And they weren't even close to hitting that over 36.
They were not.
Finished. What was the finish? 12 to 10?
I don't know how the pick'ems worked, though.
It was bad. We were guessing total
12
points. That was our assumption.
Yeah,
what would you assume, Matt? When you got a lot of people picking like that.
Yeah, and a pick'em like that,
you score.
And they make us do the Monday night game, and they have a thing where you write the score for it. So you would think it's just the add up.
Yeah.
Scores. I have no idea. But hopefully I won it. I don't know. I'm the closest on that.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to your Broncos. This is a big game for the Broncos. This is a really exciting matchup. I think this is a noon game, if I'm not mistaken. Broncos at Texans.
Into the Sunday night game.
CJ Stroud, rookie of the year. The Broncos going to visit him. Broncos are, 3.5 point underdogs, which again is another line that surprises me. Because why are the Texans favored by more than 3 in this game? I just don't. Is Dante visiting?
Home, I guess.
Timmy's barking because they're dogs, dirty dogs. But I don't think I'm picking the Broncos +3.5 here because I don't see Houston winning this game by more than a score. And, I see it as a coin flip game, and I'm just going to take the 3.5 points. Because I think Vegas has given Houston too much credit based on what we've seen. When Houston's won, when they beat the Bucks, it was 37-39. It's not like they're winning these games convincingly. Houston always wins it in kind of a late score fashion. So
don't you think the worry is Houston just gets up early at home
and makes the Broncos have to throw and get out of their game plan?
I'm trying to understand the line. You know what I mean? Because honestly, this is my over-under of the week, this Denver-Houston game. I love the under in this. It's 47.5 on FanDuel right now.
Yeah, that's a high number.
That's fucking crazy.
In comparison to the lines the over-under totals you would see in other games.
The end of this first quarter is 3-0 Denver, because we could easily see Houston get one possession. Maybe Denver has some long possessions when they get the run game going. Especially, I think they've kind of got over the Jaleel McLaughlin phase and realized, this is the reason we pay P. Ryan.
Yeah, P. Ryan had a good game last week.
And when
Yep.
Javonte and P. Ryan are running, it's dangerous.
Good point, bro.
Now Javonte's got a neck injury, doesn't he? Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's not going to miss this game. But
it's so early in the week, but I thought he was limited. I didn't look. But even with P. Ryan, I'm really not worried. That over-under is what I'm staring at. I just, for a team that loves to muck it up, in my opinion, in Denver.
Yeah, with where that total is, it does seem pretty high for these two teams.
Ground and pound.
It's not going to get into a shootout. We know that. They'll make Houston run the ball, I think.
I mean, that's a good point too, Matt, with the fear that they could run it up. I don't know. I think we stay at least within 3. I'm going to go. It's going to be barking like a dog. Bark!
You going money line?
Money line.
Broncos
and the
money
dog
line
of the week right
That's
there.
your dog of the week.
Yep.
Dogs. Yeah, man.
I like it. You know what would be what would be so awesome? And in this circumstance, I promise you, I swear to God, I'd be rooting for the Broncos. If the Broncos make the playoffs and get a game going into Arrowhead, how cool would that be though this year? You've already beaten the Chiefs once, and you just the opportunity to go into Arrowhead and win a playoff game. They match up well with those dudes.
They do. You're right.
They really do. They really do.
Could be a bad afternoon though. Like that could be the end of Katrina and I. That could be the end of Dante. That could be into the podcast. I might kill. You know what I mean? That would just be
well,
bad.
dude. Every team's Super Bowl run has to start somewhere. And even if you went into Arrowhead this year and lost, picture it like the Bucks
started with Hiram Brady.
But the Bucks used to go into Philly and lose year after year in the playoffs, right? And then they go into Philly and win that one with Gruden.
But I've seen
and go to the Super Bowl and win.
Arrowhead for years, winning year after year.
Not for a fucking decade.
I did, yeah. But I'm saying now I've seen Broncos beating them a lot longer than the Chiefs beating the Broncos. The Chiefs beating the Broncos started in 2017. Like I know they had.
No, we're talking 7 years in a row, though.
But I'm saying I've been alive a lot longer.
Bit of a run.
Like we've beaten them in the playoffs.
Not everyone
at Arrowhead. The last time we played them.
Yeah.
In the playoffs. We beat them at Arrowhead.
But that's not like relative to what is going to happen now, you know? So this is like this would be a new.
Well, you just referenced the
generation.
The Eagles. What the fuck does that have?
Well, I'm saying it's the same thing for the Broncos now that the Bucks had to do back then. You know,
that's what the Chiefs did to us, though. That's what I'm saying. Like they did that to every Chiefs fan that I meet. Like Mike, dude, every time he says, "You know how many times I had to watch the Broncos kick our ass, man? Like you think I feel bad?" Chiefs fans say that to me every time I talk to them because I say I'm a Broncos fan, and that's the first thing they know. We were late
'90s, early 2000s.
We were that team to the 80s,
Chiefs could never beat the Broncos.
Yeah. 100%. So I know that story a lot.
I just don't think that's relative to what we're talking about. A lot
more than I know about them being that team to us. I know about us being that to them. They're just getting their little fun party, man. It's cool. We got to, you know, I mean, they whatever, do their thing. I don't think anything of it.
All right, we're running out of time here, so let's get into the Chiefs game. And I like this matchup too, and that's why I included it as one of our top games to pick. And that's Chiefs going to Green Bay to play the Packers. Chiefs are 6-point road favorites. You got to over and under set at 42. And I got to be honest, with the rate that the Chiefs cover at, I'm going to take the Packers +6. I don't trust the Chiefs to travel and win by more than a touchdown. I just haven't. I mean, we've seen
that over.
The over's tempting, but as good as the Chiefs defense has been, that's difficult too. You know, you got a struggling Chiefs offense. And
they were good, but this past week they didn't look so great.
Yeah, but I mean, can't you just chalk it up like every NFL team has one of those?
Thursday.
And they ended up decent. They gave up 2 early touchdowns to the Raiders, and then they kind of clamped them down. You know, they gave up 17 points. And 2 of those were first quarter touchdowns, right? So
their offense is shitty, though.
Their offense is not what we are used to seeing from Mahomes. He just doesn't have enough to go to.
We've also said that a few years ago.
Rashee Rice had a little bit of a breakout game, but did we trust that being a real thing yet? No.
Anybody get
Oh,
10
no.
targets in that offense, you're probably going to have a good game, right?
Do we trust that being a real thing yet?
I'll answer my own
No.
question.
Yeah, like there's no.
Let me tell you the quick answer.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy, you're anti-Chiefs. It's well known. But
Yeah.
what do you have a lean in this game?
Rock with it. I was trying to figure out earlier when you said
Jordan Love.
Dance to it.
It's getting impressive.
Yeah, I'll go with you. I'll go Packers 6.5. Actually,
Okay.
the Chiefs might.
Brad, can we make this a family pick? And I'll be on the
Chiefs in
Packers.
the over. Give me the Chiefs in the over.
Chiefs win and the over. Chiefs
And
money
the over.
line plus over.
Correct.
Okay.
No, I'll take the points in the over. I
Oh,
don't
they
think it's gonna
cover
be
and it
close.
goes over.
I think we saw the peak of the Packers last. Like they came out for that Thursday. They caught Detroit.
Yeah. Back to
That was the
reality
best we
game
see
for
them.
Jordan Love.
Yeah.
They played
Yeah.
us tough, and we're one of the better teams in the league.
I don't even remember the
Okay.
Packers playing the Broncos. That was a game this year.
The beginning of the
I
win
just
streak,
blacked
dog.
that out.
What the fuck are you talking about? That was the big. Trust me, you'll remember.
That's how you
it.
put
I remember the
Wow.
Packers Broncos Super Bowl in
We won
'98.
that one. Yeah.
I remember that one.
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was TD MVP of that Super Bowl. He couldn't even see. He had a migraine so bad. They said,
Yeah.
it's okay. We're just gonna fake it to you. And then Elway bootlegged it for a touchdown.
Terrell Davis. If you had him in fantasy football that year, good God.
Yeah, Mike actually was talking about that.
Yeah.
Shout out, Mike. Yeah, he was
Back when you had to mail
that one
in
running
fantasy
back that
football
you guys
scores.
had that was so damn good. Now it's like Terrell Davis. He was, yep. I was like,
Yeah, that's the one.
he was
I mean,
all
he
right.
is the one.
Run a
The
guy.
Broncos
Yeah.
have had a lot of good running backs, but Terrell
Portis
Davis
was really
is
cool,
the one.
but
Yeah.
traded him for Bailey, so it.
All right. Let's get into this. Is the part of the podcast where we can win all of our audience a lot of money. All right. I'm going to start with a parlay. And before I even give my parlay for this week, I hit a 3-teamer on Sunday during the noon games, which was Jags, Titans, Falcons. $10 won me $50. I hit a 4-teamer during the afternoon games. $10 won me $55. That was Broncos, Chiefs, Rams, Eagles. Had to sweat out the Eagles winning, but the parlay hit. All right. I'm upgrading from the 3-teamers and the 4-teamers. I'm going with a 5-team parlay this week. All right. We're going for broke.
Back
All
to
right.
these.
5-team parlay.
Put it at 4.
This will hit. I guarantee this will hit. I'm betting against all terrible
You want to
teams.
bet $5 that it doesn't?
I'll bet you 5, but you got to give me. You got to play me the odds.
fuck?
You got to pay me 50 if it hits.
No. What? No. I'm saying I'll bet you 5 it doesn't.
So, I mean, why not? Why don't I just bet with the odds I can get it?
Because my
plus
last name isn't
550?
Bovada.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll steal from Bovada instead of you. These are my 5 picks.
That's why they call you.
The Chargers beat the Pats. The Bucks beat the Panthers. The Falcons beat the Jets.
Slow down. Chargers beat the Pats.
The Chargers
That ain't
beat the
happening.
Pats. Talk me out of it. The Pats are terrible this year, dude. They want to lose.
Your
You could
boy's
tell in
terrible.
that Giants game
Your
they
boy's
wanted to
fucking
lose.
God awful. That
Dude,
jackass.
Herbert is fine. And if you're blaming Herbert, I just can't
Demon
say it
needed
enough.
7 points.
You're not
I'm not even gonna bring
watching
it
the
up.
games.
I'm not even going to bring it up.
But if you're blaming it on Herbert, you're not watching the games. There's too many stupid fumbles and drop passes.
It's a bad team.
And it's not
That's why
Herbert's
you're jumping on
fault.
board the Broncos now.
The Chargers are a
You
bad
got
team.
another AFC West.
They're not
team.
even close to being on the same level
You
as
said
bad
2
as the
minutes ago you're a
Pats.
Broncos fan, so now you're.
I never said I was a Broncos fan.
You said you're rooting for the
I
Broncos.
said I would root for them if they go
You're a
to Arrowhead in
Broncos
the
fan.
playoffs.
You pretty
Okay.
much said you're getting a jersey.
Back to the parlay. You're gonna kill the rest of our time for first red zone
All right,
touchdown
go,
and all
go,
the
go.
other.
I already said the
specialties.
dog.
All right. Chargers over Pats. Bucks beat Panthers. Falcons beat Jets. Rams beat the Browns. Browns have a 3rd-string quarterback. And finish it off on Monday Night Football. The Jags beat the Bengals. That's plus 550. You can bet $10 like me to win $55. You can bet $100 if you're Seahawks and win $555. But this parlay will cash come Monday night. I guarantee you, this parlay will
It will
cash. It will cash out.
All right.
All right, Jimmy, we already got your dog.
Yeah,
It's Broncos. Brad, your under is the same game. Broncos
game.
Texans,
Over,
right?
Under 47 and a half.
Under 47 and a half.
I saw as well.
And then we got to get to first red zone touchdown. I was this close to hitting a fucking $1,000 win on first red zone touchdown last
Shout
Sunday.
out to Matt because, well, we were all rooting for it.
So fucking close.
We were rooting for you.
Consciously, no, I wasn't at all.
I almost
annoyed. I'd have been
been like, fuck this guy winning $1,000 on a $10 bet.
No, not even that. Just no. But that was cool, man.
But we got to hit. What I'm saying, we got to hit one of these. I bet K. Dotton, the Bucks tight end last week. It was a $10 bet to win $10,000. The Bucks were the first team inside the 10. They had opportunities. They didn't throw K. Dotton the ball. It didn't happen. But it was the opportunity was they had him on the third down. They had him on the third and goal from the 6-yard line and trashed the backups in because Baker got. But yeah, give me some winners. I'm going Gerald Everett, Chargers tight end, scores first against the Patriots. Gerald Everett. I like tight ends for these first red zone touchdowns.
Amon-Ra.
I like the pick. He's one of my favorite players. Won't get those juicy odds.
Players than
I like
Foot Locker.
I like Raheem Mostert too, Brad. One of my favorite players.
I really don't like. I would take the under in that game as well. I think Miami's going to win like 34-5.
Yeah. How about throw out some other names that I can bet on first red zone touchdown? How about Samaje Perine? How about Samaje Perine, Jimmy?
Perine or Hollywood? I thought Carolina or Arizona might strike early against Pitt.
Or Rondale Moore, maybe? Throwing some Rondale Moore or some Marquise Brown.
Miami's D against Washington. We're under a minute.
Miami D.
Yeah,
I'll bet that one too.
Back, baby. Ramsey.
All right. Cheers, boys. This is a good one. Go Broncos. 5 in a row, baby. I can't believe it's this good.
Hey, Bucks, only one game out of first place. We can still get it.
Cut it, baby. That'd be great if it cut.